Hi, it's Elise here at Bowen Library with a whole new middle grade book spotlight. So this week, we are doing something completely different than we've ever done before, okay? Trying something new. Nothing wrong with that, okay? What we're gonna be doing is we are doing a theme that is going to take us a couple of parts to get through. That's right, we got parts this time. How crazy is that, okay? What we're gonna be doing is we are exploring a whole bunch of books, but we are using the alphabet as our inspiration. That's right. We are going to be looking through the whole alphabet, and we are picking a book for each letter of it. What? I know, right. So this week is all about part one. We are talking about A through F, okay? So we have 6 amazing books, each with a different letter of the alphabet that maybe you can use as a challenge, or maybe this will inspire you to do your own alphabet book challenge, okay? But because of this, we have an amazing mixture of books this week. We have some nonfiction. We got some novels in verse. We got some mysteries. We got some new books, a little bit of something for everyone. So, books A through F, let's get started. Our first one is our A. First off, I just love the title of this book. The cover, oh yeah. This is American Murderer. Oh yeah, that's right, okay? This is a new Gail Jarrett, okay? You know how much I love my nonfiction. This one's no exception. Gail Jarrett, I love so much of her stuff. In her newest medical mystery nonfiction series, yeah, she has this whole series that's like medical mystery, medical fiascos. Yeah, they're crazy, okay? This one does get a little gross and creepy. I was a little like, when I was reading this one, okay? So it's the late 1800s and the early 1900s in the United States. There's this guy named Charles Stills. He's a doctor, but he's not really an actual, like, medical doctor. He is a zoologist. That's someone who studies animals, okay? But he makes this observation, okay? By his own eyes, the newspaper, stuff like that. He notices that something is happening to people living in the deep south of the United States. I'm talking like Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, like deep south, okay? Many people living down there, they have some pretty similar health issues, from being emaciated or looking like they're not getting enough nutrition, to being exhausted constantly, weak, not being able to pay attention for long periods of time. So he becomes curious. You know, Dr. Stiles starts to explore and observe what's going on with all this. And what he discovers is something that is so shocking that there were probably majority of people don't even believe it. He figures out that many people living in the deep south are infected with a parasite called hookworm. And they don't even know. Okay, and even though there is an easy cure for this, okay, this is curable. The hardest part is getting people to believe and then understand and then decide to do something about it. When it's all said and done, it is estimated over 3 million people are actually killed from this parasite infection. Oh, yeah, love this one. Incredible pictures. Yeah. I would highly recommend this one, plus anything else she has written. This is American Murderer. Our B is one of my all-time favorites, and I am not a big fantasy reader, especially a high fantasy reader. Love this series. This is book 1 in our series. This is the Book of 3 by Lloyd Alexander. Book 2 is The Black Cauldron. You may have heard of that one before, but you have to read the series in order, so start with book 3. Now this starts out with Taryn. He's an assistant pig keeper, and he's just looking for excitement and to be a hero. When one of the magical and prized pigs he's supposed to be looking after, though, escapes into the woods, Taryn has to follow and get this pig back. It's in the forest, though, that his life changes, and he is sent on a quest to defend the kingdom and help the crowned prince, because the crowned prince may not survive. This is filled with mythical creatures, non-stop action, and a gamut of emotions. You will not want to stop reading because you're going to want to know what happened next, okay? It's the first in a 5-book series. Yeah, just be prepared. You start this one, you're going to read all of them. You will love it. Even if you're not a fantasy reader like me, you'll still love it. The Book of 3. RC takes us to Chasing King's Killer. So this nonfiction book is all about Martin Luther King Jr., James Earl Ray, and that fateful day when their paths collide, ending with the assassination of the civil rights leader, and then the ensuing manhunt that takes place after in order to catch the individual responsible. That would be James Earl Ray, okay? You will read about each day of their lives and the build up to that day in 1968 when history changes. The hows and the whys to the plot design, to what the escape is supposed to be, all of it. You will read about pieces that you never even knew before reading this about each man. Even like you will learn a ton if you never even heard of like his assassin. I loved this book, and yeah, like if you read Chasing Lincoln's Killer, which is by Swanson, the same guy, same type of premise. It's an incredible look at an event in history, which we know about. Okay, we know Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, but we honestly need to give it the time it should to understand the before, during, and after. This book does that. Chasing King's Killer. Our D takes us to Kwame Alexander. That would be Kwame Alexander of the Crossover, which is an amazing story. It takes us to his new one. This is The Door of No Return. Okay, so this is the first in a planned trilogy. What that means is only book 1 is out, which is this one. 2 and 3 hopefully will be coming in the next year or so, okay? So keep that in mind as you go to read this one. This novel in verse takes us back to the year 1860 to a small village in West Africa in what is now known as the country of Ghana. It's there we meet Kofi, who is your typical 11-year-old who loves to play with friends. He likes to go swimming. There's this girl he's trying to impress. He goes to school, but he likes school, but he actually really loves learning from his grandfather, who tells him these incredible stories. He is told, though, here's the one thing he is not allowed to do. He is told he can never go to the river at night, though, because that is when bad things happen. But naturally, one evening, he decides he's going to go down to the river with his older brother, Kwasi, who is preparing to compete in their annual upcoming festival known as the King's Festival. And there are people that compete to represent their villages. Kwasi is going to be one of these. It's when his older brother is challenged to a wrestling match that the fateful night at the river, it changes everything. Because when Kofi, his brother, accidentally kills his competitor, life's gonna change no matter what. And it does so in an incredibly drastic way. When Kofi and Kwasi find themselves being kidnapped by the family of the deceased competitor, and they are then being sent away from all they had ever known, and they have no idea where they are going. This historical, eye-opening, unique story is when it is wonderfully written. It will present a whole different perspective on a piece of our history, which also changed our country. Again, it's the first in a planned trilogy. Yeah, The Door of No Return. Our E is going to also be the first in a series. That would be Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's Library. Okay, so this is a fun one, especially if you love to solve puzzles and mysteries and secret codes and all that type of stuff. You'll be doing that in this book. So amazing game maker Luigi Lemoncello, he goes back to his hometown and he builds the most incredible library people have ever seen. He offers, though, a competition. And there are going to be 12 people that are going to be able to compete in this competition. And the one winner gets this incredible prize, okay? Now, these 12 are going to be competing in the library, though, okay? That's kind of the crux of the whole thing. Kyle, our main character, ends up being one of the 12 that are chosen to be in this competition. And he soon finds out that there's more. Not only is it going to be in the library, but they are going to be locked overnight in the library. And there's going to be this incredible scavenger hunt. And the winner of this scavenger hunt becomes the spokesperson for Luigi's Game Company. And they get to be in all of the commercials. What? I know, okay? So craziness and mysteries ensue as some competitors choose to work together while others use their time to sabotage other successes and to cheat off of them. This epic scavenger hunt We'll have you solving all of the mysteries along with Kyle and the other characters. The first in a series. I will tell you this, you will need to read them in order to understand all of the plot lines. Again, this is the first one, Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's Library. And our F is a new book. I literally took it off the new shelf like 2 days ago, okay? New book. This is Falling Short. So best friends Marco and Isaac know that 6th grade is going to change everything. Now, Isaac has this goal that he's actually going to work this year. Okay, he's actually going to focus on his schoolwork. Okay, he plays basketball, but the focus is going to be schoolwork this year because his parents can't stop arguing, and he thinks he knows if he can stay focused on schoolwork, that will stop them from fighting with each other and maybe even having to get a divorce. And then Marco, he decides he's going to do something different this year too. Instead of him just like being like one to study and to just play chess, he's going to join the basketball team in order to get his father's attention, which he's never really had. This is going to be a struggle for them though, as they are both trying to accomplish something that is the complete opposite of their natures. But they know they can do anything with each other's support, and they are going to need that if they are going to succeed. This realistic sports story is as much about friendship in middle school as it is about basketball, and it's one that is completely relatable and will have you cheering for both Marco and Isaac as they do their best to succeed, falling short. So these are just books, A through F, right? Some amazing titles in this batch. There's more to come though, I promise. Because again, this is part 1. Next week will be part 2, starting with the letter G, okay? So come on out, check out one of these, or maybe you've been inspired to do your own little like alphabet title challenge. We got plenty of books to choose from, so we are here to help you find those perfect titles, maybe for your challenge. I hope you have an incredible week, and I hope you tune back next time to a whole new middle grade book spotlight for part 2.